Hey guys, welcome back to the Down Under series in Out of the Park. My name is Abhishek Shivaram, and I have my very reliable friend, my guest on my show, Ram Bharadwaj. Like I said, we played a bit of cricket together in the mid 90s, and he is an ardent cricket fan. He just corrected me the last time around. I thought he was in the United States of America. He stays in Canada, but he still follows the game of cricket. He plays a little bit of cricket himself. And we are discussing India's escapades in Australia, their show in Australia, and how they are going to go from this point onwards in the T20s and in the test matches as well. So today we're going to be breaking down matches number 2 and 3, and of course a little bit of a lead up of the first T20 international that's going to happen today at Canberra. Welcome to the show, Ram.
Hey, Abhishek, good to be back, and we're back to winning ways. So hopefully that momentum stays on with the team through the T20 series and the test matches. So yeah, always it's positive that they ended the ODI series on a winning note.
Absolutely, I think it was really heartening to see the way Jadeja and Hardik Pandya came to the party in the last game. So we're going to be touching upon that first, and then going forward to discuss about what happened in the second game, and also some positives. We, I think, discussed about T. Natarajan in the last episode. So we're going to be talking about him as well. So first things first. A very, very big positive in the way Hardik Pandya and Ravindra Jadeja played. I think India was struggling. I think we were almost out of the game at that point in time when Virat Kohli got out. No doubt Kohli did really well. He scored those really hard-fought 63 runs, but I think it was almost curtains, but I think Jadeja just took it away from the Aussies. A few pointers on that, Ram.
Sure, I think for a while now that we know that these two are the best all-rounders that India have, and I think they came to the party in the third one-dayer. Yes, 5 wickets down with Kohli down. Kohli's wicket, I thought Aussies had a upper hand, but I think they turned it around in the last 6 overs where they scored 86 runs on the last 6. So that was a tremendous effort to go past the 300. That's a mental barrier in one-day cricket, but fantastic batting. It was more a counter-attacking batting. I think it was very thoughtful through the middle overs after Virat fell, and then they built the partnership and then they accelerated. So absolutely, Hardik Pandya played his part as a specialist batsman, so that is very commendable. And Ravindra Jadeja, we know he's a superstar, as Shane Warne calls him. So yeah, nothing, we couldn't expect better, and I thought that set the tone. We selected the team that we predicted that is going to keep the winning ways. As we told that in our previous show, but they didn't pick it for the second one there, but third one there, I think the team management got it right. So yeah.
Yeah, I would have still like we discussed, for KL Rahul to have got the maximum number of overs at the top of the order, but I think they made a wise choice. Shubman Gill was quite, refreshingly positive, to say the least. The way he kind of picked off those deliveries off his hips, and he was looking very confident. He was looking like he belonged to international cricket. So it was heartening to see there. But once again, coming back to Jadeja and Hardik Pandya, I think this is the coming of age of cricketers, as they call it. I think they are peaking at the right time in their careers. I think has Hardik Pandya understood his job responsibility in the team now that he isn't, giving you those 8 to 10 overs like he used to do in the past? Has he understood his responsibility and told himself that if I have to play for India for a considerable span of time, I got to contribute with the bat? And do you think he has been working exceptionally hard on his batting, or is it something that comes naturally to him?
No, I think he's matured as a player. That we have to understand that he used to be the flashy player who will give you these good 5 or 6 overs where, pinch hitting. That's what he was well known for Mumbai Indians. And that's why he came to the national scene as a big hitting batsman. But I guess now that we've seen the competitive nature of the one-day players, where Ben Stokes from England, Jimmy Neesham, they've all settled down. They've known their roles. I think Hardik Pandya has learned from experience, and I think it augurs well for India going forward with two classical all-rounders. I mean, Jadeja and Hardik Pandya both are gun fielders. If Hardik is fit to bowl his seam-ups, like we mentioned, 5 overs, and batting comes naturally, I guess, for both of them. So I think it augurs only well. Hardik Pandya has played his part he came into the series, that he's had that nickel and he's going to play as a specialist batsman. And I think he lived up to the confidence that the team management has shown.
Absolutely. And I think Ravindra Jadeja has, when he started off his international career, if I may use, he was a bits and pieces cricketer, but I think he has matured like fine wine over the years. And the way he has come to the party whenever India has demanded has been really heartening to see. So yes, good on those two. And KL Rahul has been maturing as well as a wicketkeeper. He is also understanding his role in this team. So all's well that ends well. Now that we won the final one-day international, a word or two on T. Natarajan. Of course, he went for a few runs, but I think he bowled his heart out. He wasn't afraid to experiment, was he?
Yeah, I mean, look at the guy. I mean, he's 29 years old. We always think about Indians playing their best cricket during the ages between 25 to 30. We know Hasi made his debut when he was 28 or 29 years old. And, he played the 6 or 8 years that he played for Australia. He was a fantastic cricketer. So we are just hoping that T. Natarajan, he didn't show any nerves. We know that he can be leaky. Given that he's an attacking bowler, he's trying to be a wicket-taking bowler. But fantastic. I mean, he's an amazing find, and that's one thing we have to thank IPL for. If not for IPL, we wouldn't have seen these, domestic players even come to the international scene. So it's been a quick rise for him. We hope he gets his chance, his due chance in the T20 format, which he's well known for, as we saw during the IPL. And he brings in that variety with Bumrah at the other end. That's what I would think that we should stick with Natarajan. But I would say more games to go. Is a fantastic find, and we should utilize his speciality with his left arm seam. After Zach, we've not had a good left arm seamer. Right. This guy could be an answer for it.
Absolutely. I think he's got a very smooth action as well. There is no friction in his action, in his delivery stride. So I think that is another positive that we see with T. Natarajan. Also coming to the bowlers, I think there was a change that was made. I think Yuzvendra Chahal was looking out of sorts in the first couple of one-day internationals. Kuldeep Yadav came in to the side, though he went for a few runs as well. But all in all, I think they finally managed to get their the selection right, and the way they pulled the match back in the back end, because we all know that they huffed and puffed their way to this victory in the third one-day international as well. But a victory down under is sweet nonetheless. So I think the way they pulled back things, Bumrah and Natarajan in the back end, I think that's where these guys are specialists, and they've improved over the years, haven't they?
Well, I just have one word to say. They dropped all the RCB bowlers, so they came back to winning ways. So that's, to simply put, we know that RCB bowlers, I mean, nothing to take away from their performances, but they looked out. Navdeep Saini and Chahal were not in their prime. Even in their prime, we know what happened in the last 5 games of RCB during the IPL. So I think to put it fairly, I think they picked the right combination. They didn't have the RCB bowlers bowl in the death. They came back to winning ways. So Kohli should be happy.
Right. A little bit of a light-hearted jibe over there from Ram Bharadwaj, as always. Good to see that in the spirit of the game, of course. Moving to the second one-day international, what do you think went wrong for India? I think, or was it that India lost the toss, and because of which, again, they, kind of went under pressure. 390 is a lot of runs to chase. Let's accept that first of all. But was it even fair on our parts to give away 390 runs, or did we do something extremely wrong in the bowling department?
Well, first of all, the team selection, right? I mean, we knew that nobody's going to chop and change after the first one day, so they were going to stick with the same team. They should have understood surface in which they were playing. They were playing under 40-degree heat, so they should have picked an additional spinner. I would have dropped Navdeep Saini and played probably Kuldeep and Chahal, but they didn't do that. So, and they were dog for the slow over rate during the first game. So I think that also could have played under on their minds. So they were trying to rush in without thinking about the situation. If not for Hardik Pandya stepping in during the second one day to bowl those 4 or 5 overs, India would have probably been chasing 420 odd. And I think the wicket that he produced, and he kind of gave the blueprint to the Australian bowlers, where he was mixing up the pace, right? I think Shami and Bumrah were hitting the deck very hard. That's what we saw. And then, Australians are never afraid of playing pace bowling, because they are born and brought up on those kind of tracks. So I thought they were hitting the deck really hard. And Navdeep Saini was not even varying his length. I think the length that he got it wrong. And he gave it in the hitting zone for both Warner and Aaron Finch. So something that they could learn. And again, he's an inexperienced bowler. You cannot single out one bowler, but I think they looked as a bowling department, and they were in back well in the field too. So they had multiple drop catches. I think Jadeja dropped a sitter, which Steve Smith cashed on later on, and then you had a few misfields from Mayank in the deep. So these are fielders who are known to do their job. And when you have, I think it was an off day and a daunting task to chase 390 on any given day. So I thought they were still in the game when KL Rahul and Virat played well, but 2 blinders that, those are things that you cannot avoid. But I think a couple of batsmen played some rash strokes without knowing the situation. I think Shreyas could have cashed in. This was his big opportunity to score some big runs. I think he was intimidated with the bouncy ball. He was playing tennis ball shots that we are not accustomed to in international cricket, but that's the nature of the game. I mean, they were not going to chop and change, so they got those results. So I think change in venue also did the trick with the third one-dayer. I think Sydney was pretty flat for them, and then Canberra, though it is known to be a batsman's paradise, played in India's favor because they made the right changes.
I'd like to touch upon a couple of points over there that you made. Firstly, India is not used to being criticized on the field, especially over the years. I think post the 2000 era, I think we've seen some phenomenal fielders in KF, Yuvraj, Suresh Raina, and then Virat Kohli, Jadeja. This entire lot, I think every one of them, can purely walk into the side based on one discipline, and that could be fielding. And they aren't used to, getting flack, especially when it came to fielding. And I think that is something which is a matter of concern, and maybe that could have led to about 30-40 runs on the on the field, and maybe that could be a big difference. We could have probably chased down if it was around the 350 mark. That's one point. Another one which I'd like to touch upon was, like you mentioned, I think they were doing pretty well when KL Rahul and Virat Kohli strung that partnership together. And this is again the big change that I see in Indian cricket. They don't get flustered when they lose quick wickets at the top of the order. They are very much in the chase every single time a challenge is thrown to them. I think it is this. That I like in Virat Kohli, the kind of the aggression that he instills in his boys. I think a lot of it has rubbed off onto the players as well. Even if they've lost 5 wickets, you have Jadeja and Hardik Pandya who don't throw in the towel. So I think that is heartening to see as well. So yes, good points those that we discussed. I'm quickly going to be moving ahead into the first T20 international. That's going to happen again at Canberra. Once again, it's going to be a batting beauty. But having said that, I think India is going to go there with the momentum on their side. And having won a game in that particular ground a couple of days back, I think it's going to be in India's favor. But I don't think they should take it. They should be too complacent. Your thoughts on the team selection for the T20s? Because we've gone with the same squad, the same 15, 16 member squad for the ODIs and the T20s. Whom would you go first up with? Your 11.
My 11 would be start off with Shikhar Dhawan. Shikhar Dhawan, KL Rahul starts for me. One down, Virat Kohli. Two, Shreyas Iyer. And then Manish Pandey walks in. Hardik Pandya, Ravindra Jadeja. I would bring back Chahal for the T20 format. How much have we got? And then Bumrah, Shami, and Natarajan.
Great, that's a good choice. I think that's a very balanced side, especially bringing back Chahal. Chahal has of late, operated quite well when it comes to the bowling those 4 overs, those 4 quick overs, because I think he knows to vary his flight. He plays around with the loop and all those things really well in the T20s. So I think that way Chahal is a good inclusion in the first T20. Of course, we have to go with Rahul and Shikhar Dhawan. I think that's how they're going to be going in today's game, unless they spring a surprise and it works against India's favor. Having said that, Shreyas Iyer has had a very quiet. I'll come back to your point. I'm just quickly making this point about Shreyas Iyer, who has had a very quiet series this time, which wasn't expected. Do you think the bounce is a little too much? Is it getting really big on him, or once again, are we calling it too early?
I would say we are calling it too early, but we've seen that India has struggled with a settled number 4 batsman for a while now. This has been a debatable one, since Ambati Raidu hung up his boots for a 3D player. But we have to give the longer run. We have to give the longer run. Shreyas Iyer has got runs, but like I mentioned during our previous show, he's not scored runs outside the subcontinent or flat track wickets of West Indies. So this is a first kind of outing for him. So I think, given the class player that he is, and he's toured India A multiple times to Australia and New Zealand, I think he should have learned that. I think those are things that he could come back with. We're hoping that he fires at number 4. Still, that spot is not yet up for grabs. I would still give him a go. But Manish Pandey needs to be back into that middle order, because if Shreyas Iyer fails, I think Manish Pandey, India A captain, solid player. And KL Rahul, I think, was underutilized in the ODI format with his middle order batting, because they had to make room for Mayank Agarwal and Shubman Gill, of course, the last game. But for a class player that he is, he needs to play the 20 over format right at the top. So I think that's the balance they should be going with. I won't be surprised if India, I doubt if they'll drop Jadeja with the form that he is in. But I don't see them picking Kuldeep and Chahal in this team. So I think that's pretty balanced with what we are saying. We'll have to see how it pans out, right?
Right, absolutely. You were about to make a point. I'm sorry, I made the point of Shreyas Iyer before you were just about to make a point before that.
No, I just wanted to give a stat that India, in the head-to-head for T20s, Australia have won 8, India have won 11. So it does gives them, it's a friendlier format for the men in blue, and they've had relatively good success against Australia in the recent past. Since the 2016 T20 World Cup they've had more wins against Australia. So definitely looking forward to it, and I think they're more accustomed because of the IPL. I think they were caught off guard during the 50-over format, but T20, I think they should feel much at home and probably win this. Without Warner at the top, I think India starts off as on an upper hand on this T20 series.
Right, quickly going back to Shreyas Iyer, before he started off this particular series, he was averaging close to 50, and that is how much even Rayudu was averaging by the time he finished off his international career. So I think he was the perfect replacement for Rayudu, and he also did well down under in New Zealand the last time around. I think early 2020, he got a couple of good scores in the one-day internationals. So I think it is too early to call Shreyas Iyer's weakness, or the apparent weakness that we've been seeing. So yes, I think we've got a perfect mix over there, and I think we are on course for a very, very good T20 international series. We have 3 T20s. Today is the first one of it, and let's see how India fares in that as well. I think that's pretty much it of what we had to discuss on the couple of one-day internationals that we missed out, and the lead up to the T20 today. We're going to be coming back once again post the T20 series. That's going to be next week. So I would request all our viewers to keep it locked. And Ram, once again, thank you so much for those valuable insights and for your time. Looking forward to discussing on Facebook about various other aspects of cricket, about our all-rounders. Let's not reveal too much, but yeah. Yeah. So,
especially RCB all-rounders too, man.
Oh yes. Thanks a lot, Ram, for joining us. And
Sure.
We'll see you after the T20 international series. Let's have a good one. Cheers.
Awesome. Thanks for having me on the show.
Weekend, Ram. Have a great weekend.
Yeah. You too. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye.